Welcome to Break Free to Brilliance podcast, empowering women in business through thought-provoking interviews and insights. Embrace your authentic power, explore the impact of your story, and discover how writing your best-selling book can amplify your message, authority, and the 3 I's: impact, influence, and income. Let each episode guide you towards brilliance in minutes. This is your host, Seema Giri. Welcome to another exciting episode of Break Free to Brilliance podcast. This is your friend Seema, and I'm so happy to be here with you today because we are doing our author series for Power of Community book, the recent #1 international best-selling book. And I'm joined here with me today, one of the co-authors, Dr. Sandra Breece. But with love, we call her Sandy. Sandy, welcome to the podcast today.
Thank you, Seema. I'm so glad to be here, and I have so many good things to share with everyone.
Can't wait to get started. But before we get into the full interview, let's just take a quick minute to get grounded so we can be 100% present with each other and with our listeners. Okay, so just taking a deep breath. And if you're listening to us while you're driving, please don't close your eyes, but do join in as we meditate. And so close your eyes and taking a deep breath in and exhale. And with your next breath in, just want you to feel seated and supported in your seat. And exhale anything that's not serving you right now. Leave all the worries and the things you need to get to for later. Just be here in the present right now. Taking another deep breath in. And with the exhale, I would like you to bring your attention to your heart chakra, right where your heart is. You may also put your hand right there to bring your heart into your awareness. And next, I would like you to think of a happy moment. It can be from any time period of your life, including today. Once you have that, just feel that memory and just experience that in your body. And experience that joy and that bliss that you had then. And I want you to relive that moment as if you're living it for the very first time. Just feel that amazing energy go through your body, through your hands, your heart, your back, your legs. It's just flowing like electricity throughout your body. And imagine who you were with at that time. The laughter, the joy, the people, the ambience, or maybe you had just taken some time out for yourself, for self-care and pampering. Next, I would like you to bring your awareness to the top of your head, to your crown chakra. And again, think of another happy memory that brought you so much joy and excitement. And yes, I want you to relive this moment as you're living it for the very first time. Connect to your heart and your crown chakra and feel that bliss and that joy you felt in that moment then. Bring that to your awareness. Feel that in your body, in your heart. And allow yourself to experience that again. With your next breath in, I want you to totally embody that feeling. And with another inhale and exhale, I want you to open your eyes with a great big smile. Well, I feel totally energized. I can feel that energy flowing. How was that for you, Sandy?
It's great, and I'm there. I'm here. I'm energized and ready to answer any questions and inspire whoever's listening.
Let's get started on the inspiring then, Sandy. I'm going to share your amazing bio with our listeners. Dr. Sandra Breece founded a school 32 years ago when her own son was falling through the cracks due to overcrowded classrooms at the school she taught at. Her school addressed the problems with a small class size and individualized instruction. She now wants to share and assist others who have a passion to start their own school for anything, anywhere. That is so amazing, Sandy. Can you tell us a little bit about what you were going through with your son at that time that made you take the step of starting a school rather than saying, I don't know what to do, or my son has to go through the regular school system because I don't know what else to do? Go ahead.
Sure. He was a third grader, only at the tender age of 9, when I made the discovery that he was a what they call in the business kinesthetic learner. He learned with his hands. And for that reason, it made it difficult in any classroom because most teachers, not all, but most teachers teach to visual learners, which the majority of the population out there is. I'm
Yeah.
a visual learner, you probably are too. And there are auditory learners as well, maybe not as great a number as the visual learners, but the hands-on learners are unique and rare, not as heard of as much.
Yes. Yes.
Kinesthetic learners have no learning difficulties, but they have difficulty oftentimes in a visual or auditory uh, operated classroom. So teachers that are unaware of the kinesthetic learner oftentimes miss the boat with those kinesthetic learners. And that's what was happening. So I knew what the problem was, and as an educator, I wanted to correct it. So I tried multiple ways of correcting it and helping make a difference. Speaking to his teachers, and which I all had good relationships with, and hoping that they would understand. But it's hard to, in a classroom that was too full to begin with, in a
Hmm.
classroom that had too many students in it at the time, it was hard to make a change midstream. And they all had their favorite ways of teaching, of course, too. So
Yes.
I struggled with that for a long time and wondered what I could do. I had him to different psychologists, doctors, and so forth, and all of them said the same thing. He's just got to learn to adjust in the traditional classroom as it is. So
Mm,
went to work on that. But I began to think, I think I could do this myself. And I considered homeschooling, but I was a single mom and it was not a possibility at the time. So I
mm,
thought about it way too long. I considered all the options for 3 long years, and that was way too long. I would never advise anybody to wait as long as I did, but I didn't have anyone to consult with or talk to or even try out ideas on. So I kind of kept it to myself and persevered until one day I decided I'm going to put a little ad in the paper, a little tiny uh, classified ad, no identification, just my phone number, and ask if there's other parents out there that are feeling what I'm feeling. As my son was getting closer and closer to middle school, I began to worry more about that. And when I put that ad in the paper, I got other parents that had the same concerns I had. So that they were the people that I launched my endeavor to start a private school, because there were no such things as public charter schools at that
mm,
time in the nation.
mhm,
It was long ago, and so I started. The only other school I knew was a private school. That was all there was available. So we started as a private school with just 9 students. My son was one of them, and he was a seventh grader by then. So, I waited and planned it too long, but it was the right thing to do for me because I wanted to be sure. And I started it with 9 students and another teacher that joined my effort to make it happen. And we began to grow and grow. And then I realized that we needed to address other students besides just kinesthetic learners, like
mhm,
my son. So I opened it up to other students, visual, auditory learners, and we grew and we grew. And now, 32 years later, we have converted to a public charter school, which is a nonprofit charter school, and are doing amazing things and have continued to do amazing things for thousands of students, kindergarten through 12th grade. And now we just recently added a preschool too.
That's amazing. That is so amazing.
So
And
proud of
you
it.
keep saying that you waited so long, 3 years. Do you
Yes.
know how long people actually wait? Much longer than that. And so 3 years is really not too bad when you were trying to discover at a time and trying to figure things out at a time when this wasn't as readily available as it is now. So that is amazing that within 3 years you were able to create something like
Well,
this. And
my
I'm,
son was getting older every year, so I had to.
yeah, yeah, sense of urgency, right? That really, that is something that really um, can get you going, that to get any project started, that sense of urgency,
Absolutely.
that is amazing. So it was wonderful to have you in this book, Power of Community book. What compelled you to be part of this journey in this book?
I was so glad you asked that because as soon as I heard the name of the book that you were planning, Power of Community, I well, I said, I'm in because it was my community that supported my endeavors. Initially, when I first shared with my friends and my colleagues, I got all kinds of naysayers. Oh, you can't do that. That won't
Hmm.
work. Just think of the liability. All those things came up.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the way to share it. But I found out as I started that one by one I would connect with people in the community whom I knew who could maybe offer some help with the obstacles, let's call them that, or challenges that I bumped into as I began to start to plan and put this school together. And that's
So
when so successful. The community was just outstanding. I found so many solutions to so many dilemmas that I had no one to talk to again. So I just reached out to a member of the community and found solutions better than I had even dreamed. I mean, it was amazing. Without the community support, I don't think it would have been as nearly successful as it would have been any other way.
that is still true. I mean, when you cultivate the right kind of community, you can have so many resources within your community, besides that, the support of, emotionally and physically and all of that, but in terms of other resources as well. So you had an amazing start with your community, and then you created the school community for your children. That's amazing. What is the name of your chapter? And what do you want the readers to gain after reading your chapter?
Thank you, because that it's so appropriate. I named it, and it was an easy choice. From vision to reality, navigating the challenges of starting a school. And that is exactly what my chapter is filled with, is lots of obstacles that got in my way that I didn't allow to stop me. And with the help of the community members that I sought to reach out to, then that's when the solutions came and it all began to fall into place. And I don't think it would have worked out nearly that well, as I said before. And that is the chapter, the essence of my chapter is that thanks to my community members, excuse me, that it got better and better and solutions appeared and the challenges went away.
So let's talk a little bit about that, Sandy. I mean, when you're in this situation, your son is having difficulties in learning, and the school system is not able to provide. You are a single mom. It's not easy raising a child on your own. But then you're trying to start this. It's really hard to have a positive mindset all the time, right? Because you're having the challenge, you feel down, you feel tired, you're by yourself, you're doing the daily grind, and you need to do something different. You see what your child is going through. It pulls on on your mother's heart. I can feel and experience that because I have children too.
You're
And it's been
100%
challenging, even with the support of a spouse. What was that thing that just kept you going? How were you able to just, every day pick up? How did were you able to like get out of that feeling like, I'm sure there were times where you felt helpless and tired.
yes.
What made you get up the next day and like, no, I'm going to fight this?
It was the encouragement from my community because I saw the little successes as we grew and we
Mm.
grew. And then big successes began to come, so got better and better and better, and there were bumps in the road. I mean, it was easy to love doing it, but it was hard work, to make it happen. And I can tell you that most of my moves forward were successful, but I did hit some mistakes that I feel comfortable now sharing with anyone who has the same passion as I had to, to handle those mistakes. Mistakes are going to happen, but with someone that's been there, done that, it should be much easier to be able to make a good choice. And that is what I'm offering to anyone that reads my chapter and wants that assistance now as a consultant with School Founders Academy that I've just recently founded.
That's amazing. So, what advice would you give to someone who is building their own community or starting a new community?
Don't be afraid to start. That's what delayed me because I was fearful that I wouldn't have all the answers. And I was right. I didn't have all the answers, but by persevering and moving out and asking, it got better and better and better. So I can assure anyone that wants to try this, they are moving in the right direction. The options have gotten many options for schools have exploded across the nation, and I will be able to help with any of those, whether it's a school for adults or a school for children, a school for welders, a school for dancers, whatever it is. I feel that I've hit enough of those obstacles to be able to share and inspire anybody to keep on going with encouragement and praise.
Wonderful. So, you're located in Arizona, right?
Correct. That's right.
So, are you doing this locally or are you doing this
No,
nationally or internationally?
with the media that we're on right now, with Zoom and all the technology that's involved in connecting with people far in faraway places, I feel I can help anyone in the US of A and can also help anyone anywhere with any level of school or kind of school. I mean, the principles are pretty much the same. So I can help and advise, and it's up to it's still their school. It's up to the client to make that decision as to whether they choose to go this way or that way. I'm just there as a sounding board and to talk to them, to encourage them, to help plan with them and inspire them to keep on going and not give up. Never give up.
Is there like a minimum time it takes to set up a school?
No, but I think I can save them lots of time and lots of money to be able to do it a more efficient way than the way I had to explore without any assistance or advice. So I think I can help in that way as well.
Yes, and I highly recommend the coaching and the mentoring. You can save so many years of hardship, so
Yeah.
many painful time by using an expert because they've been there, they've done that, they have resources, they have streamlined the whole process. So I highly encourage everyone who is looking to start a community, who's looking to start a school, to get in touch with Sandy and save yourself the steps so you can execute and get started as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Sandy, what one last tip would you like to give to our audience?
Oh, well, first of all, don't wait. Get yourself out there and do it while your passion is high. Otherwise you'll later have probable regrets for not starting. So go ahead and start. Make sure you give yourself that boost. Call me up and I'll be able to give you a pep talk and tell you the details of the reality of the thing is that if you don't start, you're going to have regrets later. So I'm so anxious to hear from anyone that feels, even if you're just thinking about it, or if you have a school in existence already and you want someone to talk to, someone to help consult with, I'm your girl.
Wonderful. Why don't you show us your book? Let us know
Oh,
how we
yeah,
can get your book and how we can get in
right
touch with
here.
you.
It's chapter 3, and I explain in 2,500 words how important starting your vision, your mission of a new school for whomever, whether it's people you know or people you don't know, you need to make sure that you're on track, and this will help get you started. Absolutely.
Definitely. And how can they get in touch with you?
They can get in touch with me by emailing me, or I have my phone number also in the book that they can give me a call, leave a message. I'll call you right back. And it's, we can talk about the fit, the perfect fit that's right for you and your community and what would work in your opinion. I mean, I'm going to ask lots of questions too. Now, you're not going to only ask me questions, but I'm going to ask questions as well, so we can make sure that we dovetail and fit together perfectly so that we can make a smooth sail and move forward with what your plan is and what your school is going to be like.
So be sure to get that and get in touch with Sandy. Sandy, it was so wonderful having you on our show today.
Thank
I
you.
hope you enjoyed it as well. I know I've learned quite a bit from you today.
I thank you very much, and thank you for all your assistance and help along the way.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sandy. And to our listeners, until next time. Well, to our listeners, I hope you got some key takeaways from our conversation today and you're ready to get your community started. And until next time, this is Seema. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Break Free to Brilliance podcast. And I hope you had some key takeaways that you can implement right away. Be sure to subscribe to Break Free to Brilliance wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also follow along with us on social media using the links in the show notes below.